Welcome to the complete animation of Katie Dodd from this two-part episode of TaleSpin. Now, two-part episodes of TaleSpin are pretty rare, and I think that this one did a pretty good job of having a story that was worthy of being split over 40 minutes. But looking at this episode, it is worth talking about just how big of an influence Indiana Jones had on Disney animation, because there's DuckTales that came out in 1989, 88, something like that. It's a late 80s show into the early 90s, and it's basically built to be an animated adaptation of Indiana Jones type adventures. Then there was the reboot of DuckTales, and then there's TaleSpin. And TaleSpin has a lot more variety, but the sheer number of times where it also goes on adventures of, raiding tombs and finding lost artifacts out in the desert. TaleSpin is also clearly heavily influenced by Indiana Jones. And I don't know if there's anything wrong with that, but it just shows just how appealing that kind of story is. Now, this bit in here where they're in a nice restaurant, Katie Dodd didn't need to wear a dress that went that hard, did she? And I like the way that she holds her own, even though she's being completely surrounded by these guys who are doing a really poor job of flirting with her. I think that Katie Dodd's design is pretty good, but I'm not completely sold on it. And there's two big things. One, I don't think that her species really reads that well. I think she's supposed to be a fox, but she doesn't really look that much like a fox. And the other thing is her face, her eyes, and her mouth. The sort of lighter area around her eyes, I think it doesn't work quite that well. And her mouth has the problem that a lot of the characters in TaleSpin have, where it is sort of the, white underbelly that a bunch of animals have, but it goes way too far up. The white underbelly part of the mouth, it should stay next to the jaw and not go up to the cheek so much. And I don't really like the lipstick on her. When she's wearing her dress, fine, but what kind of woman who's out in the middle of the desert digging up ancient artifacts is going to be wearing lipstick the whole time? I don't think it makes that much sense, and I also don't think it looks that good. Heck, I don't think that lipstick looks very good on real human women. I'm not a big fan of lipstick. But TaleSpin has a real problem of just slapping lipstick on so many female characters. I'm really glad that the main female character in TaleSpin, Rebecca Cunningham, she doesn't really wear lipstick. And I think that is an excellent design choice, because holy cow, it would have gotten old fast. The actual story of this episode is kind of fun, where it's every lost city has to have its gimmick. What is it about it that makes it unique from all the other lost cities that have been found in Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones inspired media? And this one, it actually has a pretty cool gimmick, and that is sound. Everything about it is sound. Does it make any logical sense? No. Does it have to basically resort to magic mumbo jumbo? Yeah. But still, it's all about sound. And so singing with your voice or making tones lets you control parts of the, city. Although I will say that I really dislike the design of the big scarab beetle type things in this episode. And it also doesn't make any sense for them to be able to chew up solid metal. Like, I don't care what kind of animal you are, a the carapace of an animal is in no way, shape, or form ever going to be able to chew through solid steel. Like, yeah, it's part of the story, and it ends up not being that threatening, but I just don't like that. And also, the beetles just don't look good. Their faces don't look good. The way they move doesn't look good. Yeah, I take big issue with that. Now, one of the interesting things about this complete animation is the way I found TaleSpin is I found somewhere, not saying where, I found a rip of the DVD collection of the entire series. But as I was going through it, I was like, oh man, there's interlacing here. It doesn't look that good. But then I found out that iTunes also has it. And I did a quick side-by-side comparison, and it turns out that the iTunes version of TaleSpin is the best quality version. And so if you look through this video, the first episode of the two-part episode I got from the DVD. And because I really didn't feel like re-editing all of those parts from the DVD version, I just swapped halfway through to the iTunes version that I got, and I think that there is a noticeable improvement in quality, but it's still standard definition. It's not HD, which I wish it was, because like I got the Blu-ray of the complete Scooby-Doo Where Are You, and holy cow, the Blu-ray is beautiful. You can see the way that cells are layered on top of background layers. You can see, the small specks of dust. They didn't try to restore it very much. All they did is like, boom, here it is, really, really, really high quality scans of the master film. And it's like, you would never have guessed after years and years of looking at it on, regular NTSC television broadcasts, just how good Scooby-Doo looks. And I think that TaleSpin could have been the same way. What I will be doing is I will be feeding this through the NVIDIA upscaler that's included in my version of DaVinci Resolve. And that upscaler, I think it's the best way that I can upload this to YouTube, because I try to upload at 4K, and with all the zooming that I do on a source file that's already not very high resolution, I think that the upscale is the right way to go. And if you don't like that, you know what? If you feel that strongly about an NVIDIA upscaler, you're more than welcome to find your own copy of TaleSpin and make your own complete animation where you don't feed it through an NVIDIA upscaler. But as for me, I think that it looks pretty good. Like, yeah, there are some artifacts, but I think it looks better than the alternative, especially for these scenes where you're zoomed in really close. And at the time of recording this, NVIDIA just released, DaVinci Resolve just had its newest update that added even more NVIDIA-powered stuff, and I'm really excited to try it out. There's this one thing called Magic Mask, I think, where I think I might actually be able to start doing complete animations where I just grab the character and remove it from a background, basically make it on transparency. I think it'll look really cool, but right now my internet is so slow, I haven't been able to download it yet. I really like TaleSpin. I don't think it's perfect by any means, and I think it could stand to see improvement, but I wish that TaleSpin could have had a reboot, just like DuckTales did. The 2017 reboot of DuckTales worked so well I think that a reboot of TaleSpin could also work really well, especially if it did the same way that DuckTales did, where it's the same characters, same general premise, but completely new settings and stories. Yeah. Full disclosure, I've been recording complete animation commentary all morning. I think I've spent probably 2 hours just talking straight, because the way I do complete animations is I just make a ton of videos already edited, and then I do commentary all in one fell swoop, because I think commentary is my least favorite part of making these videos. But I gotta do it for fair use. Thanks for watching.